Okay, this scene is exactly why Ross should never be allowed to make decisions under pressure, because the man sees one delivery fee and immediately chooses violence. So Ross and Rachel go to buy a couch, right? Totally normal situation. The guy asks Ross to sign, everything's fine. And then Ross notices the delivery charge is almost the same price as the couch. And instead of acting like a normal human being and just paying for delivery, Ross goes, "Nope, I live 3 blocks away. I'll take it myself." And that's the moment the entire disaster begins. Because now Ross and Rachel are outside dragging this massive couch through the city like they're in some low-budget moving company commercial. Ross is pretending this is easy, Rachel is trying to be supportive, and the delivery guy is just watching them like, yeah, these two are not making it. Then they finally get to the apartment building, and Ross drops one of the most important details at the worst possible time. Yes, he said there was an elevator, but there is no elevator. Excuse me? That feels like information we should have had before carrying a giant couch across 3 blocks. So now they're stuck hauling this monster up the stairs, and Ross instantly transforms into the most annoying team captain in history. Go left, left, left. And Rachel's doing everything she can, but there's only so much left available when your body is folded around a staircase and a couch is trying to end your life. But Ross doesn't care. Ross has entered full panic management mode, where the plan is no longer move the couch. It's just shout louder until reality changes. Then this man actually says, lift it straight up over your head. Ross, be serious. They are carrying a couch, not performing a cheerleading stunt. And somehow, this still isn't the dumbest part. Because Ross decides they need backup. So he calls for help. And who shows up? Chandler. Not Joey, not Monica. Chandler. And Ross literally calls him the next best thing, which is already insane. Because even Chandler knows Monica would have been more useful. Honestly, Monica could probably have carried the couch herself and still had one hand free to judge everybody. But Ross has something even more powerful than common sense. A sketch. Yes, a sketch. The second Ross pulls out a hand-drawn couch diagram like he's about to brief the Avengers, you already know this sofa's not surviving the evening. He starts explaining his masterpiece and Chandler immediately roasts him for it, because of course he does. The drawing looks less like a plan and more like evidence that Ross has been awake for 19 hours and should not be trusted with furniture. Then comes the greatest staircase meltdown in sitcom history. Ross starts yelling, "Horn, turn, turn, turn." Then up, 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 and then the line. The line that has lived in everyone's head rent-free for years. Pivot, 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 pivot. This man is screaming, pivot, like he's discovered a cheat code. Like if he says it enough times, the couch will suddenly fold itself into a smaller shape and glide upstairs out of pure respect. Rachel and Chandler are being crushed. Nobody can breathe. The couch is wedged into the stairwell like it was built there. And Ross is still standing behind them, acting like the problem is their attitude. Pivot! No, Ross. The problem is geometry. And Chandler finally gives the only correct response anyone could possibly give in that moment. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Beautiful, perfect, no notes. Because that wasn't just Chandler yelling at Ross. That was the audience. That was humanity. That was every person who has ever watched someone make a terrible plan and then commit to it with full confidence. And the best part is Ross still doesn't get it. Even after the couch is completely jammed, after the entire mission has failed, after everybody's exhausted and angry, and probably one wrong move away from falling down the stairs, Ross is still acting confused. Like this wasn't obviously doomed from the second he said, "I'll just carry it myself." But wait, it gets even better, because Ross then tries to return the couch. Not complain about it, not ask for help, not accept defeat. Return it. A couch that is now absolutely destroyed, a couch that has been bent, crushed, mangled, and basically turned into a modern art project. And Ross goes into the store trying to negotiate like this is still a normal customer service conversation. The salesman is like, "Did you cut this couch in half?" And Ross, with the confidence of a man who has never once let embarrassment stop him, is basically like, "I would like to exchange it for one that is not cut in half." That is why Ross is one of the funniest characters on Friends. It's not just that bad things happen to him, it's that he reacts to every bad situation with the confidence of someone who genuinely believes he is still the smartest person in the room, even when he is standing next to a couch that is in two separate pieces. And after all of that, after dragging it 3 blocks, after getting stuck in the stairwell, after screaming pivot like a man possessed, after destroying the couch and humiliating himself in public, Ross gets $4 in store credit. $4. That couch took his dignity, his energy, his friendships, and probably permanent damage to his lower back. And all he got in return was enough money to maybe buy a sad little sandwich. This wasn't a furniture delivery. This was Ross Geller versus basic spatial awareness, and Ross lost.